Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. I am Lara May Velez.
I am Elaine Santander.
And I am Cecil Calme.
And we are your speakers for today. And we are from the LAPIT BAYAN organization. We are all facing the global pandemic that causes our normal type of education to change. But learning never stops, from face-to-face learning to online learning. Thus, technology has become essential. Online tools and applications are now what we call as the classroom. And for today's webinar, we are going to know one of those online tools that is very useful for the teaching and learning process. So for today's webinar, it will be titled Google Site Showcase Your Work, Experience, and Skills. So let us now proceed to our objectives. So for the first objectives, to present the significance and uses of Google Site in innovating a creative output. In this webinar, we will be able to discover the importance of Google Site for us to come up with a creative output. And for the next objective, to introduce Google Site as an educational tool that is essential to the new normal type of education, meaning we will be able to know how efficient Google Site is for us or in the aspect of teaching and learning process. And for the third, objectives to develop students' capabilities and skills in using the Google Site, especially for academic purposes. For in this webinar, you will be taught on how to use Google Site for your academics. And for the last objectives, to identify the importance of Google Site to the near future. Before going through on our webinar, let us first know what really is Google Site. So Google Sites is a versatile tool that makes creating a website easy. You can create websites with collaborators by giving another Google user edit access with other Google services like documents, sheets, and slides. So Google Site is only available as a web application. The app allows users to create and edit files online while collaborating with other users in real time.
There are a lot of educational application and website nowadays where we are in the new normal setup of education. But the question is how much it will cost and it is easy to use. So ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the Google site. And aside from it is free, it is easy to use. So Google Site is integrated with other Google apps and tools so you can easily share videos, presentations, or calendars. Google Site is very essential when making group works because you can collaborate with other users. Creator of the Google Site can access this in any gadget, just like laptop, tablets, and phones. And also, Google Site is very recommendable in terms of privacy. Why? Because your site is stored on Google server and only the creator has full control on page access and permission. So how do instructor and student use Google Sites? Google Site Google Sites are used especially in the time of pandemic to assess and remote learning and support communication between teachers, students, parents, and educational institutions. So now let's see some ideas on how teachers use the Google site. So the use of Google site already familiar to a student because some of us might use it already and many educational applications are similar to Google Sites where teacher can create web page for the class to include course materials and rich content including videos, images, slides, and audio recordings. Teacher also use Google Site for posting homework, assignments, and class events. And also, they create a page for posting announcements, class events, reading materials, classroom rules, and many more. Teachers also use Google Site as a discussion board where every student can comment their answers or concerns. Teacher can use Google Site as a tool to make evaluation and assessment for the students. So now, let us know some ideas on how students use the Google Site. There are many uses of Google Site, but students commonly use Google Site to create digital portfolios to feature their work and achievements. Students also use Google Site to collaborate with other students around the world to share ideas, create content, and communicate ideas. And also, the students use Google Site to present their findings on a particular research subject. They include documents that they have created, videos, links, and many more. And also, they use Google Site to contribute knowledge to building inside the classroom and to build with course materials. Also, the student can use Google Site in composing and or editing their answers in their modules. They also use this to compose their reports or edit their journals. Google Site have unique features that will greatly help to have a desirable result. So that is the uses of the Google Site to the teachers and students.
So at this point, let us all together explore and learn on how to create an e-portfolio using the Google site. And I want everybody to please listen carefully, and it is much better if you follow the steps because afterwards, I am going to call somebody here to present their output. So the first steps will be go to sites.google.com. Then if you have already a Google account, then use it to log in. And if you don't have a Google account, then click on sign up to create a new account and follow the setup steps. Then after that, after creating a Google account or signing in, then you click create for you to begin. So after creating your own e-portfolio, then let's move on to following the steps to create a new page. So click on template, enter a name for your site, under name your site. The site location will automatically populate as the site name, removing the spaces and any special characters. Select a theme, more options, and that will be discussed later. And enter the code and then click create. After that, let's do how to pages. So to edit the pages, all you have to do is to click on the pencil icon to edit a page. So the page editor screen allows you to add content to your page. The is similar to document editor, create links, create bullets, and such. And next will be the steps on how to insert image. To insert image, all you need to do is to click on insert, then select image. After clicking on insert, the pop-up box will automatically give an option to upload an image in your computer. So select uploaded images, then click browse to find the image on your hard drive, and then click OK. So after that, the next will be the steps on how to insert the link. So to insert the link is all you need to do is highlight the text you want to become a link, click on insert and select the length. Then create link pop-up box, determine whether you want to use an existing page in your site. Either it will be a site page, a web address, or an app script. Then click on appropriate, enter the URL or select the correct page, and then click OK. After inserting the link, let's move on to the steps on how to insert the video. So to insert the video, all you need to do is click on Insert and select Video. Choose either Google Video, YouTube, or Google Docs Video. Then just enter the URL of the Google video or YouTube clip you want to use and then click Save. Then let's move on to the step 3, which is adding pages. Pages, all you need to do is click on the New Page button to create a new page, and then enter a name for the page under Name Your Page, and then click on Web Page to select a template. And then to select the location, either you put the page at the top level to make the page at the same level as the home page, or to select Put Page Under, or to make it a sub-page to one of your pages, and then click on Create. After that, let's move on to how to edit the sidebar. So to edit the sidebar, click on the More button in the top right corner and select Edit Slide Layout. Then click on Sidebar. So for information of everyone, the sidebar helps the site's visitors to find what they are looking for and stays with the user while navigating the site. And the sidebar button appears to the left. Then after that, just click the plus symbol and then scroll down the list and click Add under Navigation. And after clicking the navigation, Add Navigation, then let's move on to click on Navigation and then click Add Page. And after that, you will see a list of your available pages. Then select the pages you want to display on the sidebar and then click OK. You will need to do this step for every page you want to display in your sidebar. Then you can arrange the pages in the order of your choosing by using the arrow buttons. Then click OK when the order is correct and save your changes. So after clicking OK for changes, then we will now proceed to save and how to save and publish your work. So to publish your work on the page of your e-portfolio, then it will be automatically saved as a draft. To publish these changes, wait a moment for a yellow bar to appear at the top of the page that looks like this. And then select Publish Changes to publish that individual page. And you will get a green confirmation box at the top of your screen when the page has been published. So as a user, if your site is private, then you can share your site to allow individual people to view or edit your site. But if your site is public, then your site will already be viewable by anyone. So if you allow other people to edit or view your site from the upper part in the share text box, enter the email address of the people you wish to share your site with, and then choose the level of access you wish to give them, like they can just view, can edit, or set as an owner. Then click Send. So for further information and for you to gain more knowledge and better understanding on how to create an e-portfolio using the Google site, then I have here a video.
Follow along the steps in this tutorial to set up your Google site. First, go to Google Drive. Then, in the upper left-hand corner, click on New. Once you click New, you should see an option to click on More. Under that menu, you should be able to click on Google Sites to open up your new Google website. Once you get here, we want to start in the top left corner by naming our site. A good trick to naming your site to make sure you can still find it anytime you need to go back to Google Drive is to name it with your first initial, middle initial, and then your last name. Make it yours by naming it your portfolio. Once you've named your site, feel free to give your first page a title. You could name it something like your name and your portfolio to show ownership. Once you've given your title page a name, from here you can edit your site with the criteria that we're going to go over now. Before we move on, let's make sure in the upper right-hand corner we click on Publish, name your URL. It should already be named since we gave our site a name over here in the top left. You can see that it has a similar name in our published website address. Make the settings the same as you see here. To make sure our settings are correct, click on Manage, and it should be set up just as you see on this screen. In draft mode, only specific people like yourself can edit unless you give someone else permission. And in this setting, it should say Publish so that anyone at Horry County Schools can find and view your site. Once you have the settings set up like you see here, click Done. After checking that Manage screen to make sure our Publish settings are set up correctly, we can click Publish here in the bottom right-hand corner. Once we've managed our sharing settings, you're now able to share your published site with any teachers who ask for access. To share your site, you're going to look for this icon towards the upper right hand of your screen that looks like a chain link. Click on that link and it will give you your published site link. When you're ready to share, just click on Copy the link, and now you can paste this link to an email for your teacher or to a spreadsheet, a Google Doc, or anywhere your teacher has asked you to share your site link. When customizing your page, you can look at these text box options to add a text. You can add images. You can explore embed codes. You can add items from your drive by clicking here. You can search for items that you know you're looking for specifically, or you can search through folders and items here in this page. You can also, similar to setting up a Google slide or a PowerPoint presentation, you can select layouts from this menu over here on the right. You can add a table of contents, a set of images, a button that you can add hyperlinks out to other documents or sites, a divider to dress it up a bit, a YouTube video, your Google Calendar, Maps, or any of these other Google Apps options. Next, we'll look at generating content to put on your website. Now let's take a look at generating the content for your site. Your digital portfolio will usually consist of the following pages and sections. However, your organization may depend on your personal style and which format you choose. On your homepage, remember to keep it clean, simple, and easy to read. Include a photo of you. Make it a headshot and make sure it's professional, not anything silly or weird. For the rest of your site, consider including an About Me section. Include your favorite subjects in school, a goal you have for the year, or something you wish you were recognized for. Think about what does success look like for you. Include any clubs, sports, or groups you're a part of. You can bullet things you've done in a club or any titles you have in your club underneath the club title. Include a What I'm Reading section. List or link any books you're reading or a favorite book that you have. Find an image of the book title and make sure you cite the image. You could include a short description underneath the image of the book of your favorite parts, characters, or anything to note. Include any accolades. Those are like celebrations. For example, maybe you gained 5 points on a test that you took last time. But don't put your actual test scores. That's just for you. Maybe you have perfect attendance that you're proud of, or you're on the honor roll. Or again, think back to any successes that you feel you've accomplished thus far. Include content pages for each one of your classes. Your teacher for each class will instruct you when you will add content to these pages. You'll add content as you complete projects in your class. Just a tip, make sure that any Google document, slide, sheet, and etc. has the sharing permissions changed so that anyone with the link can view it. Include your passion project. Create a page for something you're passionate about. Do you have a YouTube channel, makeup tutorials, video game tutorials? Do you create things outside of school? Do you volunteer somewhere? Are you passionate about sports, reading, a club that you lead, a youth group you attend, an app you coded, a business you've started? Do you write? Do you aspire to be a lifestyle blogger? Feel free to create pages that showcase who you are as a person. Make sure they showcase who you are as a professional. So if there's anything profane, inappropriate, or for an audience that would not be a future employer, then you shouldn't publish that content here.
So I guess everyone here follow the steps that I discussed a while ago. Then is everybody follow the step and able to make their own output?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good, Miss Lasduce. Can you show your output, Miss Lasduce? And then after that, can you share with us what have you learned while creating your portfolio using the Google site?
Good day, speakers. So I have here my sample output, which I use the tool Google site to make an e-portfolio. So aside from it's a free site, what I like in this tool is I can create web pages that display nicely on any devices. I can also easily insert content. I can add, edit, format text, and insert, crop and resize my images on my site. In short, it is easy for me to customize my e-portfolio. I can also publish and share to others my site. And what Google Site does best is I keep everything synced so I can access the same data for any operating platform. There are no risks, no upsells, no expiration dates or limits. My site is saved directly in my Google Drive. I can access anywhere with any devices. It is simple and straightforward to use. I also like the features of Google Sites, which allow me to insert my Google Sheets, Google Drives, Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Slides, Google Charts, and such. And I believe this Google Site tool is important and helpful nowadays, especially to the students and teachers as we face a new normal education right now. So that's all, teacher.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lasduce, for sharing your output as well as your learnings on how to make an e-portfolio using the Google site.
So we are now entering a new era, the revolution of online education. Being physically present in a classroom isn't the only learning option anymore. Nowadays, you have access to a quality education whenever and wherever you want, as long as you have access to computer. Thus, these online tools and applications like Google Sites is very efficient and useful even for the upcoming years. And that is it for today's webinar. Again, we are from the LAPIT BAYAN organization. Thank you so much for listening.